Hi guys. All right, we are here to talk about Gimpy, the budget studio Micron. Boy, old Gimpy here. What can we say? Um, this is going to kind of be a multi-part video because I want to show you a couple of things. The first thing I want to show you is that it works perfectly fine in a studio setting. Um, I think that's really the pitch on this unit. It does have two dead keys that just don't do anything. And I'll explain that more in later parts of the video. Um, a quick talk about the unit before we dive into a demo here. I had two of these, and I took the best parts and created one really good, one really nice Micron, and um, and then what was left over is what we used to create Gimpy here. Now he was missing these were gone. This pitch wheel was kind of hosed up. Um, Three of the corners on the bottom were popped, which is really common on these units. I talked about it in my other video. Alesis really kind of made some crucial mistakes when they designed this unit. Just look at other listings on Reverb and look at the bottom of these things, man. They're all jacked up, missing feet, scratched up, popped corners, the whole nine. Real brief description of why. This metal frame top piece is a U shape. The bottom piece is plastic, but this frame isn't square. It's jutted out so that when you put it in, you got to line up your screw holes, and now you're nice and flush. Well, this is always putting all kinds of pressure on this bottom piece, which is plastic, and eventually that pops the corners. And then the other problem, it's plastic. Hey, you should have made it metal. And then the other problem is they had rubber feet that were glued on. So anyway, I don't want to go too much into that. There's more detail about that in my other video. But I did the same repair to this one. I put proper rubber feet on this that are bolted in. They aren't going anywhere. You won't have to fix it again. I repaired the corners. One of them I tightened the screw on a little too much when I was putting it back together, and I kind of split the corner again. But I covered it with a ton of an industrial glue. I wouldn't worry about it anyway. There's tons of other screws. This really, structurally sound. But you just look in the photos, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I fixed the pitch wheel. It was loose. Now it's nice and tight. It's just a bolt in there. The spring was good, so yeah, just needed to have the bolt tightened up because it was all wobbly. One of these, I think it was this one. Yeah, this one was torn. It looked like a dog or a child like tried to bite it. Or I don't know what happened to it, but the rubber was all there, just not, together. So super glue and some tape to set it, and it's good as well. It's not good as new, but it's that repair should hold fine. And you can always replace those if you want. I think you can get a set of three for $12. I'm not going to spend $12 on it because yeah, this is Gimpy. He's special, but we've put a lot of time and effort into him, and there's the dead key issue. Man, it's a bit of a heartbreaker, but we only do what we can do. I feel like a doctor who had a patient come in with all kinds of wounds, and we saved almost all of him, but we had to amputate a little bit here. Out of these first four keys, three of them, there's a key bushing that actually, there's a spring, they're spring loaded. That's why the keys pop back up. Well, there's a little piece that catches them so they don't just keep going up, right? And I don't know what you call that piece, but what goes around it is a little rubber piece called a bushing. So I'm going to call them bushing holders. Three of them were broken. I found one inside the unit and was able to reattach it and reinforce it with an L-shaped piece of plastic on the back so that it won't come off again. The other two I had to fabricate from scratch, which not easy to do, and definitely not easy to get them all lined up nicely, right height, and no problems. I was really happy with that. When I finished that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna breeze through the rest of it, and then, man, I just could not fix this to save my life. I tried swap. You can't get the parts first of all, so that's problem number one. The problem is the pads. Boards are good. You can take good pads, put it on that piece of the board, press down, no problem. But the pads under those two keys are just gone. They're just not there. They don't exist. So I had to try some aftermarket parts, and they're always too narrow. The contacts are too narrow. They're too far apart. One's too high, one's too low. There's just something wrong with every single one I tried. And then I was like, all right, well, let me just use some JB Weld and some new rubber conductive material, and I'll create the perfect replacements by modifying these keypads that I got. Nothing still. So it's just real finicky. Every 37 key synth has a 12 key strip, a 12 key strip, and a 13 key strip. 12 plus 12 is 13, 37. So, certainly I've taken this virus apart before and, cleaned it, and there's pads there that look really similar to these, but they're not the same ones. And I just can't keep spending money on pads and prayers. Maybe somebody, like I said, that's got a bunch of more spare parts laying around than I do could give it a go. But anyway, enough about all that. So beyond that, yeah, the synth works great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it beyond those two keys. We replaced the volume potentiometer. That's the only other real repair I did on this unit. But otherwise, everything works great. I'm just going to demo this just this little riff here. FM voice doesn't seem to do too much to dispatch. Panning. Not sure you can hear that. Noise level you can hear for sure. Just roll through some other patches. There, you can see FM voice does quite a bit on this one. That's nice. It's got a nice little reverb on that one there. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely works, and let's just throw it. I mean, it's not going to sound great because I'm just throwing it on top of another track here that I'm working on, but just to kind of hear it like in the context of a song. These are the original sounds I have. Now we've added Gimpy, and yeah, man, I mean, we stopped on a little bit of an echo there. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to use this in a studio setting, and you're going to use MIDI to sequence, or you're going to use an external MIDI controller, hey, I mean, this thing should last for quite a while. Everything else has been cleaned, all the contacts have been cleaned, everything works. If nobody wants to buy it, I'm going to keep it. I'll literally just keep it right here and start using it in my tracks because it's loaded with sounds. There's 1,000 sounds in there. Not all of them are useful. Some are dated, but you can certainly edit them. And yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to keep this if nobody wants to buy it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think somebody will. It's a pretty good price for a unit in this condition, despite the 2 dead keys. Hey, and hey, maybe someday, you know, those parts become available. I'll show you. It's the easiest fix in the world. Like, you don't have to be a synth pro. Let me turn the volume down so we don't get any pops here. Let me power this off real quick. Red is out for in, so I don't mess that up. And I'm connecting my other synth. It's the easiest fix in the world. Literally, it's the deep holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Deep holes with the silver screws. Those are the keyboard mounts. Pop these 8 screws. Keyboard pops right out. There's 2 cables on this side on the bottom. They're already marked, 1 and 2, both on the board and on the cable, so that if you pull them apart, you won't forget which one goes where. You know, pop these 2 keys out, needle nose pliers, pulls the spring out on the back. It's real simple. Unscrew the board, replace the pads, put it back together, and voila, you're done. It's really not a tough fix. You know, you want to start replacing potentiometers and stuff like that. It's a little more complicated. You got to take the whole darn thing apart, and it's soldering and, you know, all that. Replacing pads on a key, it's like, you know, it's really nothing, man. And anybody can do it with a screwdriver. You literally just need a Phillips head screwdriver, and that's it. And, you know, 15 minutes, man, you'll have these things swapped out. And, you know, I wish, you know, I got like notices set up, so if the parts become available, I'll certainly swap them out, but I doubt it. I doubt they become available. This is an older synth, you know, the parts are hard to come by, and the pads, I would say they're problematic because you can find keys and knobs, and well, potentiometers are easier to find because they can steal them from other units, but yeah, the pads it's real specific for this unit for whatever reason. It's just kind of a generic pad, doesn't work. So anyway, guys, that's it. Like I said, I'm gonna cut in some other parts of this video so you can see just how extensive some of the repairs were on the key bed, so you know what you're getting into. I trust these for fixes. These are good fixes to me. They may not look good when you see them, but when you have no parts, you got to get creative. So that's the way it goes. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Check you next time. There are some very creative fixes here as well, as you can see on the right side. 1, 2, and the third one I can't quite point to without, yeah, there we go. This one was broken off and still inside the unit, so I was able to repair it. It's been super glued on, and then an L-shaped piece of plastic has been super glued and JB welded on to keep that one in place, and it's nice and strong and secure. These other 2 had broken off, and they were not inside the machine. They were nowhere to be found. So what do? You got to get really creative and try to come up with a solution so that you end up with, you know, these, I don't know what you call these, bumpers or whatever you want to call them. These keep the keys aligned. They keep the key from pressing down too far and from popping out too far, because there's a spring on the back here, which I'll show you later once I put the keys back on. But anyway, it's a creative fix there, and as you can see, I mean, I don't think I could have done a better job as far as alignment. I mean, it's the exact same height. I forget what you call. I bought these 2 of these blue rubber pieces. I forget what you call them. There's a name for them, but anyway, I bought those 2, and I mean, it's absolutely the same height, the same
position for the bottom and the top of that rubber piece. It's the same width. I had to get creative with some plastic and super glue and JB Weld, and then I put a bolt through it to keep it in place. And then I had to put some JB Weld on the bottom. That's the black stuff there to fill out that piece and sculpt it. I mean, it was really quite a thing. Anyway, I know I'm going on here, but I just want to be on it, full disclosure. This is what's going on with this key bed, and we're going to put it together and see what happens. Hopefully it all works. I mean, it should theoretically work just fine, but we're going to find out.